Hello everyone, my name is Harsh and I'm once again present here to take a session on the Right to Information Act. Now the topic of today's discussion shall be that whether a company or an NGO have the right to access information under the Right to Information Act 2005. Now before we move on to the main concept that we have to discuss and analyze today, we need to understand certain basic provisions of the Act so that we are in a more comprehensive way able to understand the particular concept that whether a company or an NGO can file an RTI or not. So we will begin with the section number 3 of the RTI Act. The section 3 says that subject to the provisions of this Act, every citizen shall have the right to access information under the RTI Act. Now if we just break down this particular provision, we see that the particular section is guaranteeing the right to access information under the RTI Act to the citizens only. That's what section 3 is generally saying. Now if we move on to discuss a very renowned case of company law that you might have heard a lot many times if you have studied company law or if you are studying it right now, that is Solomon versus Solomon. Now, in this particular case, what was laid down by the court was that the company is not a citizen, even though it is regarded as an artificial person, or it also have a independent or a separate legal entity from that of its members or shareholders. Still, it is not to be regarded as citizen. So, when we read the judgment of this particular case and then we completely move on to the section 3, we can analyze and we can deduce from it that a company, as it is not a citizen, it shall not be allowed to access information as per the provisions of the Act. That is a initial perception that we make once we go through the section number 3 of the RTI Act. Now another provision that we need to focus upon is section 6 of the RTI Act only. Section 6 talks about the request for obtaining information. Now when we move on to section 6 of the Act, the section 6 prescribes a process as to how an individual should be requesting for the information from the particular authorities. What is the process for requesting or obtaining information from the authorities? So in that particular provision, the term citizen has nowhere been used particularly, and for that matter as well, when we move on to section 6 clause 1, it specifically uses the term person, and it says that a person shall request in the following way that has been provided under the provision in order to request to obtain information. So if we go through the provision that is the section 6, it clearly denies the usage of the term citizen and it uses particularly the term person. So if we are referring to it as a person, then a company shall usually have a right, because a company is also considered as an artificial person, and as it has been laid down particularly in many cases. So technically, if we go according to the provision of section 6 of the RTI Act, we can say that since company is a person, so under section 6 it shall be usually allowed to access or obtain information under the RTI Act. Now even after this particular thing, there have been multiple instances where the PIOs or the CPIOs have refused to provide the information to companies on this particular ground that a company is not a citizen, and as per the definition that has been given under section 3, they shall not be allowed to be given any sort of information. This is a general perception that we guys have made. Now we have looked over the citizen aspect, because a company is obviously not a citizen and it has been laid down in various cases. So we move to the other word that we had used in section 6, which is the term person. Now to understand this, we need to look at the definition of person. That has it been particularly defined, that what does a person mean in any particular Indian legislation? So yes, it has been under the General Clauses Act. Now the section 3 clause 42 of the General Clauses Act defines that a person shall include any company or any association or any body of individuals, whether it has been incorporated or not. So a company is definitely coming under the term person. The company will be a person, obviously, as per the provision of the General Clauses Act. Also, through various judicial precedents that have been set out by the courts that a company is a person. So if we go by section 6, it shall be allowed. But we previously saw that it has been still refused. So what can be the way out? What can be the process that we need to follow? If I have a company, or if you are having your own company, how should you particularly as a company access information or request to obtain information from the CPIOs or the PIOs or from the different authorities that have been incorporated under the RTI Act? Now, there are very simple and way that has been usually practiced in the past few years is that if I as a company want to request information from the Act or from the authorities under the Act, what I need to do, that any employee or office bearer of my company or my particular organization, whether it's a company, a society, or any sort of NGO, they can make an application on behalf of my company. So if I am allowing an employee of my company that they can request to obtain information on behalf of the company, whereby they will be stating that yes, I XYZ person am a citizen of India, so as per this section 3, I can obtain information, I can request information under the Right to Information Act. And in such cases, the information is usually supplied, is usually provided to that particular individual. And in such cases, even if the information is actually being sought in the name of the company, it is still in fact supplied to that particular employee and an office bearer who is making an application in the name of the company and is filing an RTI application on the behalf of the company. So it should be noted here that once an employee is making an application for seeking such information in the name of the company, whereby he or she is the citizen of the particular country that we are, India, that is India. So in such a cases, the information cannot be usually denied and it is to be provided to that particular office bearer or an employee. That's how we usually seek, and that's how a company should ideally seek, because any other provision is not guaranteeing any right, because company is not considered as a citizen. Now there is a question that whether a company is a citizen or not, because we decided on the basis of the argument that we had, but then there have been various judicial precedents. There have been various judicial precedents that previously decided that whether a company should ideally be considered as a citizen or not. And once we know that whether a company should not be allowed or it should be allowed in order to file such cases. Now the very important case that I would be referring here is that State Trading Corporation of India versus the Commercial Tax Officer. It's a case of a very important one indeed, because in this particular case the company was not treated as a particular citizen, and the court specifically said that it shall not be allowed to claim any sort of protection of such fundamental right as the government has guaranteed to its citizens, but it can claim the protection of such fundamental rights which have been guaranteed to all persons, whether citizen or not. So it clearly laid down in its various judgments that the company should not be regarded as citizens, and the company should not be allowed to claim the rights that are provided to the citizens. In such a case, as it is not a citizen, it shall not be allowed to seek any sort of information from the RTI Act. Now another leading case was the Bennett Coleman versus Union of India. It has been a leading case in the constitution as well, and you might have heard about it a lot many times. In this particular case, the court held that a shareholder is entitled to protection of Article 19, and that an individual's right is not lost by a reason of fact that he is a shareholder of a company, which again says that a shareholder shall be treated separately and not as a company itself, and the company shall not be treated as a citizen in such cases. And in this particular case, the information was denied when a shareholder basically requested the information on behalf of the company. The information was denied. So the court made it clear that the shareholder is a separate person and he should not be treated as the company itself. So if the shareholder is requesting the information on behalf of the company, so that information should ideally be provided. Or in case it isn't, then there are certain remedies that are available that such person can definitely refer to in such cases. And another such important and a leading case was the Tata Engineering versus State of Bihar. In this particular case, the court clearly said, I'll just refer to a very short kind of summary of the case because there's no point of discussing the entire case. You can refer to it through various sites if you want to. So in this particular case, the court said that since the legal personality of a company is altogether different from that of its members and shareholders, therefore it can't claim the protection of fundamental rights. Although all its members are Indian citizens, it should still be separate, and the company should not, in the name of its citizens, in the name of its employees or the office bearer, shall not claim the protection that have been enshrined on the particular citizens of the country by the government. And one more case that is important is JC Talukdar versus the CPWD Kolkata. It is a very interesting case. If you want, you should refer to it ideally. And in this particular case, the court very clearly and specifically said that any office bearer of a company can sort information, and in such cases the PIO have to disclose if it is in the name of the person. That's what I ideally told you, that that is the way out actually. So that is again what was said in JC Talukdar case, that if I as an employee, I as an office bearer is demanding or is requesting any sort of information in the name of a company, I should be ideally provided with that information, as I am the citizen of my country, I am the citizen of India, and the RTI Act very clearly gives me the right as a citizen to claim such information. One more case was there, which was Mr. Inder Grover versus the Ministry of Railways. Now what happened in this case was the applicant in this case applied for some sort of information to the PIO of Railways Department, Railways Ministry basically, in capacity of the managing director of a company. And the court particularly held that the persons applying for information under such particular act should apply as a natural and an individual person and not as a part of the company. And the court also said that corporate bodies or the juristic persons cannot apply for information under this particular act. This is a summary of certain leading cases which have been previously discussed and which are still referred as a judicial precedent. In cases where the company says that I am a citizen, I can request information. In that cases, we can refer to such judicial precedents. Otherwise, we are clear about the concept whether it can ideally do that or not. Now we have discussed a lot about the company. I thought we should discuss a bit about the concept of NGOs as well. Now, whether an NGO shall be treated as a citizen under the section 3 of the act or not. Now, in order to refer to that, we need to discuss about the Citizenship Act. So, a very interesting provision, that is section 2F, 2 clause F of the Citizenship Act, says that a person does not include a company, an association or a body of individuals, whether incorporated or not. So as per this definition, the NGO shall also be treated in the same way in which we are treating any particular company or organization. And there was also one case, that was Delhi Cloth and General Mills Company Limited. This was a case, I was referred in the cases of NGO, whereby the court observed that judicial trend is in direction of holding that in the matter of fundamental freedoms guaranteed under the Article 19 of the Indian Constitution, the right of shareholder and the company which the shareholders have formed are rather coextensive, and denial to one of the fundamental freedoms will be denial to the others. They are coexisting, so if we are denying to one particular freedom, it obviously leads to the denial of the other. So that will be all for our today's session, and I hope it was good enough and informative enough for you guys to understand that whether a company or an NGO or an organization in its whole should have a right or not. We can refer to various provisions that I've discussed, we can refer to cases, and that will be enough for us to understand that what do the companies have in the Right to Information Act. That will be all for today. I'll be back very soon with one new video on any interesting topic of law that comes into my mind. So see you soon. Thank you so much. Bye bye.